Yeah, I would say my max hand size is a little too high. They are 160 apiece. That's crazy. Please let this hit. They do. What a G. What a what a homie. 796, and we definitely could have done more. Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing the Rhino Battle Crier deck. One of the more awkward decks that I feel there is to play on the ladder, especially in best of one, because your hands that you keep have to be quite tighter than what they would be in best of three, because obviously in best of three you get a little bit more breathing time. But in best of one, we do have Battle Crier here, Teamer Battle Crier. During your turn, spells cost 1 less to cast for each creature you control with power 4 or greater, and it happens to be power 4 itself. But a good draw engine to go with it is the Trailblazer. When this enters, it makes a color of any mana. If we play a creature with power 4 or greater, it draws a card, and we can plot it so we can get a reduction of 2 pretty early on. And this is a very good card to copy with one of the spells coming up. And for the final combo piece, the big hitting piece, we hit somebody for 800, and then I believe we're about to hit somebody for about 24,000 plus with this card. But Railway, a brawler, where we have reach, trample. Whenever another creature you control enters, put X11 counters on it, where X is its power, and it can plot as well. This obviously goes pretty well with another oddball card from Outlaws of Thunder Junction, Doc here. Spells from your graveyard or from exile cost 2 less to cast, but plotting cards from hand cost 2 less. So there are chances where we go Landware Elves into this plot here, then we can plot here and go from there. But finally, the card that combos with all of it is the Devastating Onslaught. 2x in a red. Create X tokens that are copies of target artifacts or creatures you control. These tokens gain haste until end of turn. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. So oftentimes we need a Battle Crier in play. If we have 2 of these, we copy Battle Crier first and then use 1 last red mana to copy either of these other guys, even though honestly it probably doesn't matter which one you do. But the best one in a pinch is to do the Brawler. But outside of that, we're going to go ahead and dive into the games and let the deck show itself off. Again, this is a bit harder of a deck to play out of the rip, so we will be getting progressively better as the video goes on, as more and more reps obviously happen, and I kind of know what's going on a bit better. So with that said, let's dive in. All right, yeah, we can like keep, I guess. Desperate Origins could be good. We have the dock, which is pretty fun. No red mana, but hopefully we just find out later. Feels like we're primarily something else, right? Speaking of later, I'll just get rid of an Origins. That's fine. It can cost me 1 more if it'd like to. And also cards in exile cost cheaper, so I just probably go with Esper Origin here. Just I guess keep the Botanical Sanctum. Then I can just play that one tapped, and then again, this can just play these from exile for cheap. Interesting deck so far. Botanical Sanctum. Play here. Over here. And both of these. Then now, if I get to this next turn, I'm going to make 2 4/4s, which is really nice. Hopefully no Shelter by Ghost, obviously. Be like a Witch Stalker or something. Lightning Strike, sure. Not great for us. Down to 15. Breeding Pool coming in. Not awesome, but we'll do this. I just bend both of these. Need to find like our good cards, I think. Can be classified as a decent one. Maybe not the best. We're gonna make 2 mana here potentially. I'm gonna just let this happen. With a couple of other Origins, I might just be able to like barrel these and see what's up. No Witch Stalker here. A lot of Slick Shot. Okay. 2 green. This means both of these will be a lot cheaper. Which is pretty important. So there are 2. I can get this down and play one of them. And give me a red, which can allow me to shoot one of these, I guess. Yeah, let's do that. Let's knock this in. Let's Origin here. That's huge. Everything we need. And now I honestly have to kind of hold this, right? So we just go for another origin, gain all the life we can. Because now if I don't hold this, I can't make the red and then just explode our opponent, right? There's a brawler. And then we will just plot here. And then we just hold. We can pretty much block with everything. Flick shot. Screaming Nemesis, sure. All out attack here is fine. Just kind of have to do like this, and this, right? Lightning Strike puts us to 1. Witch Stalker, I guess, kills us if they Witch Stalker their Screaming Nemesis. I go to 1 then? Okay. Said, call the bluff. But the bluff is not even called. It is just over for sure, I think. We just do red here and we just make like copies of this, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? I don't even have to do this. I'll do all these, I guess. Unfortunately, got to resolve all these. And then just hit them for 1,000,000. Get in there. Nice. Smuggler's Surprise revealed 17 times. But, alright, cool. We win that. Alright, no red mana, but hand is primed to pop off, so yeah. Yes. I guess I don't know enough to know that this deck in this hand is primed to pop off. No red, obviously, for this, which sucks, but life to be gained by our opponent. I will just play his Breeding Pool tapped and just play the dock here. Obviously not going to swing our silly little goose in there, but obviously we have some good draws if we can find them. The one plot 4-2 that I can't think. Trailblazer, I believe. Can't think of his name right now, but that'd be a pretty good card to play. Make that red mana, do the Battle Crier. Obviously, we'll probably plot it, but artifacts, creatures you control. Obviously, this isn't that impressive, but Deep Cavern Bet, sure. Might just take the Battle Crier in general, even though this is kind of the pop off card, but it's just dead for now. This isn't even playable, and obviously taking this doesn't make any sense. There's already one to play, and they are legendary. Bit weird. I feel like outside of the lands, this deck in terms of paper, unless there's a card I'm not thinking of, I feel like this deck in paper has to be like draft chaff, right? This card is obviously not that high. Yeah. I feel like that's the most comfortable pick from their angle, is taking that. Ooh, dead draw after dead draw. Not necessarily the greatest time of them all. Hard part of the game sometimes. Same amount of docks as I do lands, which is cool. Play something that really breaks the back. That's pretty good. See, here, I feel like Amalia makes sense. If they didn't have Amalia, here sometimes I actually just like playing this. Because you don't have to warp it later, right? But with Amalia coming down, it just makes total sense to do that way. I have about a draw. Obviously. Could have stacked the triggers differently. The Rune Lurker Bat doesn't make much sense to have on top. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to concede. These are really bad back-to-back-to-back draws. Like, you couldn't probably name a worse draw lineup than that. One, I guess. Really do need to rip and land. Sure. Orzhov's Sack can be trouble a little bit. We want to start off with this. Then it might just be plot. Voice of Victory, sure. Sephiroth on a following turn could be pretty bad. Or even just a drainer in general. Vengeful Blood Witch, sure. Alright, I will answer the creature that I need to. Here. Uh-huh. Oh man, no land rip is actually really horrid. I was hoping to plot and then reset the game from there. It's not going to be able to. Might as well double block this voice, right? These are going to die inevitably anyway. If they want value here, they will do it. I was going to say. They sack it. It's kind of a mistake, actually. Now they get 3 Survey Hills, and I'm just getting absolutely ran over. Holy boily. Deck is becoming harder and harder to leave in, that's for sure. Sephiroth in. They're on 2 lands. Maybe they saw one. We do get a starting town, but unfortunately, our starting town comes in tap because that's how that card works. As you can see, because it's not turn 3, so we get screwed on that a little. Origin, I guess. Just need an untapped land, and we probably could have rebound pretty well. Dude, just give me a land, brother. Like, it's not that deep. Thankfully, we might be fine. Based on kind of how their hand's going right now. Here's a green for nothing. As you can see, the origins kind of would be a pretty big help here. Tap land, unfortunately for them. If they play another Blood Witch, we could close. Another voice, sure. They attack for 1. Oh, hey, there's a land. Nice. Now it feels like it's supposed to be origin. Go here first. Trailblazer's pretty good. I know I didn't want the land before, but... Or I wanted the land before, but... Where we're at currently. So we know we can draw it here. Then we get into the Flood Maul, which is actually a massive pickup. Means we can bounce the voice now. Obviously they could sacrifice it, but I don't think that they actually will. Kind of took their whole turn last turn. And we just plot here. We're a little bit more ready to pop off. We still have to wait. 8 life total is a life total. Hit me for 1. Just pass. Obviously, I don't think gets it, which is 2 creatures. Hit me for 1. Play Sephiroth. Sack. Sacrifice. Take 2. I think it's short by 1 unless they have a 1-drop to play. I take 2 here. This is the way that these work. They could have ripped the 1-drop. Most likely they have one. Oh no. Okay. Add the mana. I think it's Trailblazer, make a red, and then try not to use that red. I mean, I guess I could do this here. Get to gain life. So we will draw whatever it is off this Trailblazer. We have 2 cards that we essentially need. We need the Reducer and the other red card. And we need not 2 starting towns. I promise I don't need all the lands now that we got past that part. Here comes Trailblazer. We will end up at 9. Uh-huh. Sure. Red is the mana I want to use. Do green, green. How can I make it? I don't want it to use my. There we go. Resolve. Braid is okay, I guess. Now I won't draw off of this, but I will draw off it entering the battlefield from these two. Like, I mean, I'll take in a braid, right? We find a stomping ground, sure, I guess. If I take the sack outlet, as they play another sack outlet, I'm just in trouble. Do I take Sephiroth? Guess so. Also, Sephiroth can't be brought back in case they do have like a raise to past. So I take 2 here, which isn't great. Braid gets countered, and then I just go. I think the extra red mana actually matters the most, right? Let's go to combat first. Because now we're in. We have to attack territory. Can't just let him sit there forever, right? Double block here means raise to passes ready. Which is kind of brutal. Take 2 here. Bring back 5. Oh, it's 4, right? Because I guess they can't drain me for all of them. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're fine here. 4. I mean, fine-ish. So obviously they might have another raise to pass. They're just looking to fuel here. One of these will. Both of these will. One of these was actually going to pop off and give all these trample. So they can't just chump block me out of this. All right. Let's see it, brother. I ripped a teamer card and the other card. We get a Hellkite, which can answer this, I guess, and then we can Flood Maul something. Card a creature card. I guess it can just be this guy. I can warp and then Flood Maul. Problem is their life total is just so high, it's so hard to do anything. We do the Blood Witch. Oh man, what a hard decision to be made. Let's warp here, I guess. I've got one of these down when the miscellaneous drops early. It just made it really tough, obviously. Sure. $12. It's so high on their life total. I just can't do anything. Yeah. What? What happened? Why did they concede after all that? Pardon me? What? I'm not even close. I drew this. I don't even have a red. Maybe I shouldn't have tapped this, I guess. But holy, all right. I guess copying this would have been sick, but whatever. Opponent first here. Hands a little slow. We'll try. You will indeed try. And kind of okay now, obviously, considering it depends if it's blue-white or artifacts, to be honest with you. Hacking on land drop 2. I'm just kidding. we're not tanking on the 2 drops. Okay, so it's artifacts, which means... Are we better or worse? I don't know. I can then plot this, go play this, or... Well, because if I play this, then it's obviously vulnerable to just, like, getting exiled, right? But, who knows? I have a Land War Elf. And my opponent's in the tank. This is just a card I drew for turn. Uh-huh. Sure. Interesting. It's just... Sure, I guess. We're gonna have to shock this in eventually. Just plot here. I'm not attacking because the Saw Blades can remove this, especially when they cast United Battlefront, right? I don't want that weird random amount of value to happen. Alright. 2 synthesizers. Sweet. That's something for us to have to beat. I don't know if we can reasonably, but it's something we have to try to beat. In the air. By in the air, I just mean throw it up, I guess. Play here. We'll take a draw. Those are 2 cheaper. This, I do not want to use my red game, please. Don't you dare try to mess me up with that. Do a blue, I guess. I want to be able to cast one of these. Okay, nice. Exactly what we wanted. Perfect. I could do this and maybe we'll find more stuff. Or I could just like fully load my hand here. Oh wait, yo, hold on. Maybe I'm tripping. What if I do 4 here? Or reduce by 3 so I can only do this, right? Takes both of my mana. That's fine. Got a lot of draws. I need to do probably what, double green here? Oh wait, no, we just get the wombo combo. Hold up. I didn't realize it was going to be like this. Wait, hold up. Go ahead. What, is 5 cheaper? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3. Think. Do it again. You get to make all this mana after, I guess. I'm drawing so many cards. Even 2 like flood mauls would do it, but yeah, I mean, there we're pretty fine now, right? So I just make a red. I make a red, and then I make a red, I guess. No, I make a blue, right? So I go Blood Maul for blue. Then I go, how many, what, how much do I have? A braid here for artifact. So I only have, I actually don't have enough, right? So now I do this for like 4 maybe? I'd draw my whole deck. Probably would, wouldn't I? Let's do 4, 5, 20. Let's do 2. Then do this, I guess. I don't think I'll deck myself. I hope not. That'd be bad. Well, I don't have enough triggers to technically deck myself. So, cool. I could have probably put a brawler in and then just done it that way, but that's fine. We have how much? We have a lot of these, I guess. We have a lot. I guess I just didn't realize that that was going to do that. I can't even look at my hand. Look at that. All right, cool. Well, that was the coolest thing we've done so far. Obviously, in paper, that looks miserable, but sure. All right, I guess we can keep. Weirdly, starting town solves this hand. Because obviously, these only make blue and then red. Ruckus, okay. Here, I suppose. We could honestly have a good pop-off turn in the next turn or two. Nice, I guess. What the flipper flappers? Don't worry about it. I promise I'm not tweaking. But yeah, I mean, just here, I think we just get to go here, make a red, play this, use the red here, and then make a copy of this. Get to make one copy. All right. All right, all right, all right. Okay. We go here. I would rather use my red floating instead of taking extra damage off the starting town. Go here. Now my spell is a little bit cheaper. So now I can go here. Right? Make a red. It might just be dead here, to be honest. This is kind of the turn we just had. Red. Go red. Go 1, 1, 1, 2. Okay. 2. Now we make a billion mana. Draw. Into the Flood Mall's good here. Another one of these is great. So now I make a red and a green, I believe. Then I just go ahead and play this because it'll make it cheaper regardless. Oh. I can just be like kind of mana efficient about this and just be like, let's do a blue, I suppose. And then I go in here. So 1, 2, 3. We're in there. That should be lethal, right? Yeah, I got 5 for 4, so that is lethal. And we get there against a red deck that plotted 3 copies of Demonic Ruckus, a card that was so good for so long until Monster Trades kind of took its spot, and then maybe it's coming back. Who knows? Interesting hand to say the least, but we'll keep. We're gonna do it a bit weird. I'm gonna try something a bit different. I've been running this out on 2 without a Landware Elves. Ooh, my opponent Landware Elves me. Maybe I do have to run it out, especially against this matchup. I guess it's safe to run it out in this match, right? To an extent, anyway. Now I can just like plot and then Origin and just hope I live, I guess. Could fight this, I suppose. You know what card we need to draw for this matchup to be good? They play a Bristly Bill. Alright, well, Trample now is fun. Doesn't do anything, so they might wait or not. I lied. Obviously, they can give this Trample, but that costs 2 mana, which typically means they don't get to play like a more valuable creature, which matters a ton. Starting town, you're just going to have to not exist anymore, I think. We're going to plot for 1 here. We're going to Esper Origin. Graveyard, both of those. We hold. Now we can do this, like play, or something like that. Is it from my hand? No, it's not from my hand. It's just they cost 1 less. Sure. A Flood Maul would be fantastic because they don't have protection. We'll see. So 3, 6 to 12. Sure. I don't know if I could do anything about it. Just not blocking that. You have one really good draw. Not particularly close. That's not it, by the way. Trailblazer. Let's make a red. Go here, I suppose. Oh, we miss. Pretty brutal. Now maybe we can get it here. All right, all right, all right. And we're trying. I'm gonna stack this the opposite way because we know the top card's not a permanent. All right. Now, the reduction is a bit worse. It's only reduced by 1, I guess. Right? 1. Yeah, it's only reduced by 1. So I guess I do this. Do a red. I could technically warp this. Isn't the most satisfying thing of all time, I guess. There's Into the Flood Mall, unfortunately. And I'm a mana short to do it. I would kind of just gotta hope they don't have it, I guess. Mono green feels like the hardest. They just didn't have it. No way, right? Here? No way, right? I guess? Okay. This cost me... If I play this, my spells cost me like 6 less. I have to use the red. I guess. Do this. It's cost me so much less, dude. The brawler. Okay. I believe I can do this. Like this. Yes, I believe so. Actually. No, because it cost me 2 green regardless. Do both of those. So it's actually fully free. It actually cost me 8 less. I'm just dumb. I guess this and this. And then we put in this and this. Mid R2. Yeah. Stomping ground. Good. 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 Yes, it should be green. We haven't played our land yet, and I have 2 Esper Origins here, which can help me find a lot. A braid. Guess not. Then we can reveal the top card. We do draws and everything, which seems fine. We are just kind of looking for 1 card. 2 cards technically. Into the Flood Maul would do it. Let's Origin one more time. No and no. I do have a lot of toughness though. Or like 1 land might not get it done because I would go to 13. Oh, if it's a fetch land, it might. Or my opponent just exploded. That would also do it. So we shock here. And now it's... I can pick a number at random, I think. Or that'd be 8. A lot. I don't know. Well, I don't deck myself, Smile. I don't know. Maybe I will. This is 35. 1, 2, 3. It should be 10 cards. Be fine. Should be fine. But all these are going to pump themselves to oblivion. The worst part is, for the clip, I can't even... they're 160. Yeah, I would say my max hand size is a little too high. They are 160 apiece. That's crazy. Please let this hit. They do. What a G. What a homie. 796. And we definitely could have done more. The reduction was so high. I just picked a number and just went with it. If we look how many cards we have left. I mean, they were reduced by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 16. So I could have done it for... With the 1 red, I could have done it for 8 instead. I did it for 5, which would have been a lot more, and that would have drew 16 cards. So, sweet. Sure. Getting these weird hands where I don't really have either the Battle Crier or the Trailblazer, which has been quite the annoyance for sure. Kind of want to do this, but I think I just get some stuff out on this board, you know what I mean? Get some stuff ready to go. Okay. Here. I guess this. Little buddy here, I guess. I don't know. Sure. Yeah. Was pretty good. The Flood Maul is pretty sweet. Like, all right. Do not want to discard that, obviously. Probably here, and then I get... What is it, actually? Is it... No, because these are just so good. Has to be here. Maybe it is one of these. Or is it just a land, I guess? I know I could play a land that turn, but I can also just do this. If I play it, I can make a blue, and then I can stories again, and I think that is better. That is better. Okay. I should have kept that one. Actually, no, I definitely should have kept that one. Doesn't really matter, I suppose, because I'll still have the Flood Maul, right? But it's just the point of it. Loaded Trap should answer my Trailblazer. Correct. And there. Sure. I might as well attack, right? To the Flood Maul. They would have exiled this, we'd been so pumped. Crafting with that? They are crafting. Sure. Means they're gonna take like 2 turns to do that, right? Huh. Go here, I guess. We'll attack. Then we can potentially do a cool thing where I do this and then I do it again. Oh, if it's an activate here, we are very happy. Spring loaded trap. Answer one of my landware elves, sure. That does suck because obviously it kind of reduces what mana I do get. Like this back. Also takes the amount of card draw away from them. 1 mana's not going to do anything to us here. Find a good card. Okay, we found a very good card. Can I play this? We have math to do. I just need one of these left open. I just need 1 mana. So 1, 2. If I go blue, blue, green, red, right? Then 1 and then 2. So I can do it for 3. 2. No, I can do it for 2. Yeah, because that blue will go away, right? Yeah. Now I can do it for, I don't know, let's say 6. Okay, so I can do it for 4. Right, opponent, it was my go. You said it, not me. Alright. Here. One to play with 2 of these just seems pretty easy to latch a hold of. Because finding the land's obviously significantly easier. Sacrifice? Oh, raise the pass, yeah. Both good draws, to be honest. Both very good draws. I feel like I'm supposed to play the Battle Crier first, right? What you got for me? Double. Ooh. That guy? Vengeful Blood Witch? Sure. Sephiroth, maybe. Most of the time, they're not going to have a removal spell here. So I feel pretty confident in our plan. But what can the guy do on the next turn? I feel like he's just play Battle Crier, right? But if I just plotting, does it actually change the math at all if I do it the other way? Like if I plot here, right? And then I play it, then I play Battle Crier, it gives me like less mana to do it. So it's 3 mana over 2 mana, and the 2 mana gets replaced, I guess. But then this creature's vulnerable. I guess the idea, right? But in this matchup, the removal spells are just so far removed from really ever being there that I feel kind of confident just to run this out. If it was another deck that was Orzhov based, not Raise to Pass combo, where they can only fit like very finite amount of spells in their deck because they have to be so creature heavy, I'd feel way more resistant to like throwing this out. But on my turn, 1 cheaper, obviously. Yeah, no sack outlet. So they would have had to play this plus a sack outlet to cause me problems. But what can we do here? So I could play land. Now everything's cheaper. I can get 4 creatures down. And this is obviously good regardless. We play this, it goes to 1 cheaper. I guess so. I guess I also don't get the card draw here, so that might be another reason to do it the other way. Red. And then I should be able to pay 2 life here, cast this. Both of these, I guess. Man, sure. Torch, sure. So now at the end, I can just torch this and I'm fine. There's only 2 cheaper, or I can only make 1 here, I think. Yeah, maybe doing it the opposite way is better. We'll do a red here. And we'll go for torch and we'll hit this. But regardless, I feel pretty okay with how the turn's going. Do I even attack? I could throw a double block and then raise the pass has good value. I mean, I guess I attack regardless. Just waiting is going to cost me more, I think. Just then they play a sack outlet. It obviously runs a lot hotter that way. Yeah, for some reason, I did my math. Not for some reason, I just definitely did my math wrong. I thought I was going to be able to do something a little bit different where I thought I was going to get to 4 creatures, but in my head, I had already done it in a way that the 4th creature was the copy, and then I didn't have any more mana. So, definitely threw that one for a loop, but this is going to be 3 cheaper regardless. We're going to get 2 green, so we're going to get to play this, and then we can go Origin, and obviously if we just find the card then we're pretty solid. If we find this card, then it's just fully over. In this matchup, we do have time. They didn't have anything in their graveyard. It's not as fast. That's why I always like playing blue, and that's the worst part of that deck. What just happened to my opponent there. They had to hold. We could go Esper Origin first, I guess. Right? Like, just do this first and see. So I know what my draws are. Or maybe not even my draws, but just, like, something better. Might be on the top. So, now we play this. We take a draw. We hit a starting town. And now this is where mass manipulation is going to happen. And that's the card we want. Now, when the stack comes up, we want to do the Trailblazer draw first. So, we want to stack it this way. So now they won't know about this card, but then we get a second one. Okay. My bad, partner. I want you to understand. Game is no longer close. We'll draw it first. Swap that around. Typically, the way it is on the thing is the way you want it. But maybe they'll let us do this. So the first one, we want to copy a ton of these, I think. So we have 1, 2, 3. We do this. And I honestly want to see how much I can get away with this. Because we only have a few amount of draws, so it actually doesn't matter. What's like... What does this look like? That just resolved. I don't even know if that's how much it can be reduced by. How big is this going to get? Arena is breaking. It's 4 per creature. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 36 is what I could have done. 210? No, opponent. 210, and they didn't let me. I mean, I wouldn't let me get World Start either, but sure. Nice. All right, so after all that's said and done, this is a very interesting list that you will misplay. So do give yourself a little bit of time to work on it. The math gets really weird very, very quickly as obviously battle criers stack up. But honestly, what makes the math weird is like playing the battle criers with the dock, because then in exile they're cheaper, but then they're cheaper. And then it's like, well, what is this going to cast for? Is copying this better? Is this better? And some turns, if you have 2, fortunately enough, it's better to do this one because they get so much cheaper, so much more. And then you move on to like a Trailblazer, as you can see in some of the matchups. I think we got a little bit playing better at the end. We got a bit better at playing the deck in the end in comparison to like the beginning of the video, where, to be honest, I had to cut my first game. It was like 8 minutes. I ended up winning, and it wasn't really close. But as I was going through, I kept making a game action, and then immediately going, oh, wait, I messed that up. Or going, oh, no, I could have done that way better. So I was cutting it, and then eventually at some point, I just kind of had to start keeping the game. So there's probably going to be a lot of misplays throughout the video. Obviously, people who comment about misplays and call you, quite frankly, they're like, you're a bad player or something like that, they won't be here in the outro most of the time. So they're not going to hear the fact that we say this, but that's okay. I don't care, quite frankly. But yeah, the deck's super sweet. It's kind of cheap, really, when it comes down to it. I do think if you're going to play it in best of one, you do have to kind of rearrange what your goals are and what the main board has going for it. I think this is hard to cut any of, really. I think this is a pretty cool card. Obviously, it combos with this really well. So cards I don't really think you can get rid of. You could play like Terror of the Peaks, I guess, in this spot or whatever. But if you don't have these, is what I'm saying. If you just have like this or Terror, you can play those. And then even like a Twin Flame Tyrant would be good if you don't have it. So cards I'm talking about here are option. This is of course best of one, and this also if you don't have the craft and you do. Now these cards I'm going to recommend are also not necessarily like common or uncommons, but they are cards that you can technically have in the deck. So they're both mythics as well, but this does double damage. So anything does double damage, just kind of the same as this. Honestly, this technically will probably do more in the long run, because double damage is just doubling literally everything, and this doubling power, I guess. Whenever creature 1/1 counter where X is its power, so it does that over and over again, where it doubles a lot when you multiply it. This 3 becomes 6, and then 6 becomes, 12. But it's like the same here. You just add the counter, so it's kind of doubling their power. It might be the same, to be honest. The difference is this is plottable, and it works well with the dock. So this being an uncommon, obviously that's not that bad to craft, so just be careful whenever you come into these cards what you're going to do. I will say I haven't really plotted this that much, and I don't think the plot will make or break it if you just want to try the deck out and maybe you have some of this stuff. Hellkite's also good. Not entirely necessary either if you just don't have this rare, but you could play these as substitutes if you want to. So if you only had like one of these, for example, this is what this could look like. Obviously different things for different places and times, but Terror of the Peaks is also a pretty cool card in terms of the fact that it can just start shooting all their creatures. So one of the things against mono green, I would have prioritized playing maybe a Terror of the Peaks over the Brawlers, just because of the fact I could shoot the Landwar Elves, and then I could shoot Bristly Bill, things like that, depending on what creatures are entering the battlefield. And if you're on this, you can be a little bit more red heavy with maybe some of your mana choices, and that might help some other players who might not have all these rares in their land base. Maybe you have a couple of other red lands that you would play over maybe these or something, and obviously you can go from there. So with that said, the deck is good. Give yourself some time to play it. Let it breathe a little bit. Your first couple of games, maybe go into the normal public play and see how far you can get. Obviously, a lot of times in that format, or not format, but in that space, concessions happen pretty loosely if the game's not going well for the opponent, so it's a bit weird to do it there, or you'll play against some real whack stuff. But I do think his deck is good enough to climb. I do think you just have to be very precise about what you're doing and know what hands to keep primarily. I would argue that most hands are whatever. If you have a Trailblazer, it's kind of a lock to keep that hand, because this card is what enables everything, because it's such a high draw engine that if you have these online and then you get a Brawler in or something, or you're playing like an Origins on the backside, you'll eventually draw into one of these. I know Raise to Pass combo decks that I've played in the past will tell me otherwise, but you will draw into one of these, and when you do, you just get to play it and explode. So it's a bit different on that front as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to kind of the comments, maybe some of the ideas or some of the things that people saw that I did poorly. A deck like this is going to happen that way. It's just kind of hard on the brain. So, all said and done, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.